let's talk about something we probably all have sitting on our shelves, but maybe don't think about in this way: the incredible, life-shaping power of a good book.
I mean, that sounds a little dramatic, doesn't it? But the answer is a resounding yes. And to prove it, there's this amazing story about a creative breakthrough that came from the most unlikely place imaginable.
So, let's talk about the brilliant author Umberto Eco. You probably know him from novels like The Name of the Rose. But way before he was a famous writer, he was just a student working on his thesis. And he was totally, completely stuck. This is what Eco said about the author of a book he stumbled upon during this really frustrating time. He said the author wasn't the father of his idea, but its midwife. So what on earth does that mean? Well, he didn't get the idea from the book, but the book somehow helped him deliver it. So picture this. Eco wanders into a bookshop feeling defeated and picks up this small, kind of unoriginal book by some guy named Abbe Valle. Honestly, it wasn't anything special. But buried deep inside, Eco found one single clue. It was the key to his entire problem. Now, it didn't give him the answer flat out. Instead, it just jolted his mind and made it run in a totally new direction. And that right there is the hidden magic of reading.
And that's the real takeaway, isn't it? The value wasn't actually in the book itself, but in the chain reaction it set off in Eco's brain. A book can be a catalyst. It can spark a new connection, jolt us out of a rut, and send us down a path to our own discoveries. You see, Eco's story is the perfect example of a much bigger idea. It shows us how books aren't just for entertainment or information. They're essential food for our minds. They literally nourish us from the inside out. So let's stop thinking about a book as just paper and ink. Think of it as actual nourishment. It's this powerful tool that can breathe new life into our day, wake up parts of our brain that have kind of gone to sleep, and plug us directly into the biggest ideas humanity has ever had. And what's cool is that their role changes as we grow. When you're a kid, you can't go everywhere and see everything, right? So books build those worlds for you. Then, as adults, they're there to challenge us and shake us up. And for our entire lives, they're our ticket to learning from the wisest people who ever lived. When you make reading a real habit, it literally starts to shape who you are. The ideas from a good book get engraved in your mind, and after a while, those thoughts start to guide your actions and your choices, nudging your life in a better, more thoughtful direction. Now, it's so easy to think of reading as this quiet, solo activity. You, a chair, a book. But the moment you open that cover, you're actually plugging into this huge, hidden world of human effort and connection. I mean, think about it. For us, a book is this calm, finished thing sitting on a shelf. But for the people who made it, it was anything but calm. The source material calls it a pain of childbirth. It took so much struggle and teamwork from the writer, the editors, the publishers, the printers, the whole crew. So really, every single book is a monument to community. It connects you to all the people who poured their energy into making it. And even cooler, it connects you to every single person who has ever read those same words and been moved by those same ideas. And the size of this community is just staggering. We're talking millions. The text uses Canada as an example, where you can look around and see people of all ages totally lost in a book, on the bus, in a coffee shop, at the library. Millions of us, all quietly building richer lives for ourselves, one page at a time. So, what's the bottom line here? What does this all mean for you? Well, it's really an invitation to see books as more than just a hobby, but as a real partner in building a life that's rich and full of meaning. And it all starts with something super simple. When you buy a book, you're doing two things at once. First, you're making a direct investment in your own mind. And second, you're doing this quiet little service to the world of ideas, supporting that whole ecosystem so that more great books can be born. So here's a little challenge for you. Walk into a bookstore or a library. Find a book that feels like it has some real nutrition in it. And don't just read it once. Read it again and again. Let its words really sink in until they become a part of how you think. Because that's the ultimate goal, right? To find those few books that become like lifelong friends. The ones that, just like a great friend, can give you wisdom, challenge you, and help guide you toward being the best version of yourself. And that really just leaves us with one final thing to think about. If books can offer us this kind of deep friendship, this incredible nourishment, and this connection to the very best of humanity, how can a life without them ever truly be called a happy one?